Hey, what's up, everybody? Frederick Poke here. And it's time for another installment of What Is It Wednesday? And today, we're talking about Posse Comitatus. But before we get into that, please like and subscribe. It helps me out. And if you want to see my face again, it helps out with that too. All right, let's get into it. So, if you watch American corporate media, you might hear something about the U.S. military getting involved in deportations or cracking down on protests in American cities. And inevitably, some expert chimes in with, well, that could violate Posse Comitatus. And if you're anything like me, you're sitting there going, Posse Comitatus? I don't even know what that is. And now I'm kind of afraid to ask. Well, don't worry, we got you covered. Because that's exactly what Is It Wednesday is for. So what is Posse Comitatus? Well, it's a Latin phrase that means power of the county. If you've ever seen those old Western movies, there's always a sheriff that runs out after the desperados have either robbed a bank or maybe made off with somebody's daughter. They form a posse and they basically chase after the bad guys. It's only supposed to be used during an emergency, but today, under U.S. law, it refers to something much bigger. It refers to the Posse Comitatus Act of 1878. That was a federal law that says the U.S. military can't act as a police force on American soil. And for a long time, it was really the major difference between the U.S. and many other authoritarian countries, where the line between military police and civilian police wasn't all that clear. It was passed during a period called Reconstruction. This was right after the American Civil War. That's when federal troops were stationed in the South protecting newly freed black citizens from the OG KKK and other white supremacist assholes. Basically, back then, white, mainly Southern lawmakers wanted to stop future federal military intervention in their states, and Posse Comitatus was their answer. So what does it actually do? Well, Posse Comitatus prohibits the Army and the Air Force from enforcing civilian laws. No making arrests, no breaking up protests, no acting like local cops. Now, the Navy and the Marines aren't directly mentioned, but they follow similar rules under Department of Defense policy. Hence why they were used in Los Angeles during this most recent protest. Because, well, if you ask enough lawyers, eventually one will give the answer that you want to hear. Now, there are exceptions. The president can invoke the Insurrection Act to allow military involvement in emergencies, but that's supposed to be rare and time limited. So why is this back in the news now? Well, recently, there was a leaked government memo, and it suggested the military could be used to help with deportations and even arrest protesters in major U.S. cities. And that's exactly the kind of thing Posse Comitatus was meant to prevent. Legal experts are warning that the use of the military in this way is a clear violation of congressional approval, hence illegal. And more importantly, it crosses a line most democracies are very careful to avoid. Now, as Americans, we believe we do not use the military against our friends and family, or at least we're supposed to believe that. So what's the bottom line in all this? Well, Posse Comitatus, despite its rather dubious origins, is one of the guardrails that protects our rights as Americans. And if that line is being blurred, well, we need to talk about it. Anyway, that's all I got for you. Keep the faith, defend democracy, and I'll see you later.